friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. I am Martina Lily and today we are putting to the test and reviewing the new Westman Atelier Vital Skincare Concealers. I am so excited to try these. I just got them delivered yesterday. So I'm gonna do it how I've been doing my recent complexion reviews, where the first part of the video will be a first impressions and wear test for the day, and then I will test this for a few days to kind of test it with other products and really get my thoughts on the product, and then I'll come back at the end of the video and say, after a few days of testing, this is my final thoughts on the product and whether or not I recommend it and for why or why not. You get the drill. So hopefully that sounds interesting to you guys. If it does, go ahead and do the YouTubey things like subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get into it. You guys are zoomed in nice and close, 4K, no filters, and everything I use on my face today will be linked in the description box down below for you guys. They are affiliate links, so if you shop through them, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, I'm so excited to try this product for a couple of reasons. One, I really like Westman Atelier. I think the brand is absolutely beautiful, from the products themselves right down to the packaging. It just speaks to me. I think Gucci Westman is an incredible makeup artist, and also her philosophy for her brand is just absolutely beautiful. And then I also, like, if you sign up to her website, like, you know how you can sign up to like their membership or rewards, whatever you want to call it, you'll get emails every now and then about webinars that they will host for anyone that's signed up, and you can just sign up to the webinar and join on. And she did one for this concealer, which I hopped on and watched, and it was really awesome to watch it. I took a heap of notes so that I can share with you like what Gucci herself said on that webinar. But I gotta be honest, like, they did their makeup and everything, like Gucci and the educator did their makeup on the webinar as well, and I was like, wow, this looks, I mean, the claims of this concealer are pretty big, so I'm going to be very interested to see if it lives up to that hype. So this is the little concealer itself. It is staying true to that Westman Atelier beautiful packaging. Like, it's hefty. I don't think this is glass. I think it's probably like a metal almost, it feels like, but it is hefty. It just feels like, actually, let me grab the lip balm. Yeah, it's exactly the same. If you have the lip balm at all, it's the exact same packaging as the lip balm, and that's something I do like about Westman Atelier, is her packaging is really quite consistent with each other, so that's amazing. It just feels so luxe. Even the outer carton that it comes, like, all her products come in with this pink and the silver. It's really my aesthetic, I'll be honest. I just absolutely love it. So I picked up 2 shades because I wasn't quite sure. Usually I'm a mix between shades, so I was like, I'll just get 2, which I'll show you guys in a second. But just quickly, the details is 16 shades. It's 48 USD, 78 Australian dollars. Our Australian dollar is very weak at the moment. Everything's like double. Shade range can always use work, you know what I mean? But it seems to be pretty decent. But you guys let me know. As you know, I'm not a professional makeup artist, just a makeup lover, sharing my thoughts and opinions here. So if you're a deeper skin tone, let us know what you think of the skin shade range, sorry. Okay, so the claims on the website is just quickly like pro pigments, serum strength actives combined for precise melting coverage that feels as good as it looks. Nourishing yet airy, the formula delivers a creaseless, hyper-real finish with soft, focused pigments that blur, bounce light, and let skin breathe, and it has hyaluronic acid and peptides in it. Now, I took a heap of notes on the webinar that I just wanted to share kind of some of the key points. There's going to be timestamps on this. If you don't want to hear any of this, skip to I'll put a timestamp for the shade when I swatch the shades for you guys, okay? One of the things that I really liked when Gucci was talking about on the webinar, that isn't about this product particularly, but just about her brand philosophy, which I personally think is phenomenal as a brand owner, and kind of like how all brands should really be, I guess. But she was saying how she doesn't compromise on a product. So if she can't create the product exactly how she wants it to be in her mind and how she wants it to perform in her mind, she basically will scrap the product and is like, I'm not making it then until it can be done, or we'll just keep going and going until it can be done the way that she wants it, which I really appreciate. So, you know, not all products are going to work for every single person, but you know, she is putting out products that she personally 110% backs and believes in, which I think is really important. You know, she made a point of saying, like, I'm not just throwing out products to get money in. It's like every product has to be something that is exactly how I want it, and I really appreciated that personally. Her philosophy is that they want to create less things but the best things, which I also really like. Oh, I didn't say as well, the expiry is 12 months and it was made in Italy. But Gucci was talking about that with concealer, she wanted it to adhere to the skin immediately and not slip around. That was a really, I'm looking down at my notes, sorry, that was a really big thing for her. She didn't want it to be too liquidy, and she wanted it to have like a fluffy feeling. And she said it is self-setting, so she's like dot it on and dab it in. So from that I get probably maybe do one eye at a time, but we'll see. Precise and target the areas that need it. So she also, she used it as kind of like she used the skin tint, and she was really good on the call as well because she has like melasma spots, like kind of like me. So she used the skin tint, and then she really showed how she used the concealer under her eyes, and then also how she used the concealer to then further cover her melasma spots. They really focused on it not being super slippery, so that was a big thing for them. No silicones in this product. Now, whether or not this is true, I'm not sure, but their claims were that when they did the clinical trials, it showed that if someone was using it every day, after 4 weeks, there was a reduction in their darkness and their under eyes and like the puffiness. And then after 8 weeks, it's supposed to, it showed that it improved hydration and fine lines as well. That's what they said. I mean, I haven't tested that, and I'm not going to use the concealer every day for that long, you know, so I'm never going to find out. I have too many concealers. She talks about how they used micro mini hyaluronic acid molecules in the concealer, which is why it is also extra hydrating, because these little mini molecules kind of just like burst, I guess, and like extra hydrate the under eye, which is great for me because I have very dry under eyes, I'll be honest. She said they're not claiming long wear, but it does wear all day. Like for her, she said, she's like, I'm not claiming it because she said everyone wears their makeup for different times and that kind of a thing, and like these 24-hour claims and that, she just, you know, she's like, I don't think it's necessary, but she said it does wear all day for her, but we will put that to the test. So that's kind of all the notes I took. Like I said, it's really worth signing up to her website. It's completely free to be able to jump on those webinars. It was awesome. Now, for the shades, I got shade L1 and L2. I really couldn't figure out. She uses shade 3, which she looks a lot tanner than I am. Let me swatch these for you. Okay, so this is L1 and this is L2. And then I'll blend them in a bit. And I'm really going to be interested to see how these go because they do actually look quite full coverage. And that was something I appreciated. I expected when she was going to release the concealer it was going to be a light coverage or a medium coverage, but she really talked about how for her concealer she really wanted it to like cover, and it's like buildable. So that one was L1 and that one's L2. So pretty good shade matches. Looks lovely, doesn't it? And L1 and L2 are both neutral undertones, and that could potentially be something that you might struggle with in this shade collection, is just the undertones. So that might be something to keep in mind, but again, not a makeup artist, so you know. Actually picked up a couple of sneaky other products while I did my order. I picked up another Vital Skincare pressed powder, but this time I got the shade Creme. Last time I had Pink Bubble and I used that up completely, so I thought we tried Creme this time. I picked up the stick foundation because I wanted to try it. Last time I tried this was like literally when she first dropped her brand, and I thought, you know, my skin has changed and my makeup preferences have changed like dramatically since that time, so I thought I'd pick that up to try, but we're not going to try that foundation today. I'll tell you why in a second. And I also picked up Mimi in the cream blush because look at that shade. What I'm doing now is the speed through of just primer, color corrector, because I always use color corrector, foundation. I'm just currently in the process of testing the Urban Decay waterproof bond foundation, so that's why I'm not using the Westman Atelier one. And then when it's time for concealer, we'll come back and do the first impressions. We have foundation on. Let us put these to the test. So let's try L2. I'll do one side at a time. I'll just do L2 here. She said dot it on. Now she likes to use her fingers, you know, I just have a thing with fingers. I'm not saying that you should or you shouldn't. It's just a personal preference thing. But I'm going to use my Sigma F72. Let's start with a small amount. And I'm pretty picky about my concealers, as you guys know, so we'll see. Okay, so that's like 2 little dots. That's actually immediately done pretty well, honestly, considering when you compare the two. Okay, and I will say the finish immediately looks quite lovely. Now, this is not sponsored, honestly. Like, if I didn't like it, I'll tell you. It's totally fine. In fact, Gucci on the webinar was like, if you don't like this, that's totally fine, but I want to hear from you because I'd like to talk to you directly to find out why, which I thought was quite good. I'm going to pop some down here on my melasma. I usually do 2 layers, but I just want to see how much I can build this up. I like a full coverage concealer, so I want to see how much I can build this up. This is a little bit too deep for me, this concealer already, so I will, like, I thought that I would need to mix L1 and L2, and I feel like I'm correct in that, so good to know. Wow, that actually does a pretty decent job. L2, nothing. Alright, I'm going to pop a little bit of L1 on top just because I feel like I just need a little bit more here. I would say, actually, I do think maybe do your concealer one eye at a time. I'll test it over the next few days and I'll do the 2 eyes like I would normally do it. But I can see how it is quite self-setting quite quickly, actually. In a nice way, not in a drying way either. I also normally would put my Refy under eye balm on, but I didn't do that today just so that we could try on its own. I tell you what, the finish of that is beautiful on the under eye. Look at that. Yeah, it feels like set. I've never tried a concealer like that. Huh. Okay. I want to see if I can build it up a little bit more. I want to see how full coverage I can take it. But I'm actually going to put a small dot of L2 and a small dot of L1, which is normally how I would do it, just for my skin tone. And my under eyes are like, I've got darkness here, but then the melasma here, so that's why I always find like the different shades for me, it's a hard match, but you know. I'm not saying you need 2 shades, is what I'm trying to say there. I like how easily this blends out as well, and she is right. It really does just blend out where you apply. You know, sometimes I'll apply concealer, and even if I apply a small amount, I kind of need to like blend it all over my face because it is quite, I guess, movable in that way. But this one really does just blend out where you kind of apply it, which is nice. I like that initially. Again, first impressions, but first impressions, I'm impressed. Pretty hard to do that with me for a concealer, I'll be honest. Let's do the other side. I'll probably just mix the 2 shades together on this side because that's what is needed. And I'll put a little bit more of like the actual product on, like I kind of sometimes do. Sometimes I get heavy-handed, I'm a human. Let's see how the product goes with that. She does say to dot it on, by the way. Sometimes I'll get, you know, distracted, and this is how I'll do it. So I just want to see kind of how foolproof it is. So 1 layer. That's not bad. That's not bad. Let's do another layer. This time just some dots. I'm focusing more on out here on the melasma here because that's what my issue is out here, and then the darkness in the inner corner here. My melasma is a bit darker at the moment too because I just came back from Bali, and whenever I come back from Bali, that happens. This side is still looking the more full coverage than this side, interestingly enough. So let's do a 3rd and final layer like we did. We did 3 layers on the other side. Again, you don't need to do this many layers. It's going to depend on how you like your coverage. The small dots and building is definitely better, I think. It's just, you kind of, I feel like I've gotten the same result, so except I had to spread more, like blend more of the product in. So yeah, definitely like what the makeup artist says, small dots and blend. That is quite nice. Let's see. It feels slightly tacky, not slippery at all. So I do think it will like stay put where you kind of place it. That's both eyes. What do you think? I'm gonna go and do my cream contour. So I'm gonna use Westman Atelier Biscuit. So we have contour on. What I'm actually gonna do, which is something I have never done and never ever do, because it's not what I like to do, but I am going to set this eye only with powder, and I'm going to leave this one because she does say it's self-setting, and I know a lot of you guys don't like to use powder, especially like if something says it's self-setting or it's on your under eyes. I know a lot of you don't. So for the wear test today, I will set one eye and I will leave the other. So I'm going to just take this by Tashihu Takimori brush, and I'll just take the cream Vital Press powder from Westman because I do like this on my under eyes, and we'll see how we go. Now, fun fact, this eye is actually looking a lot nicer than this eye, and the difference for me is that I used way more product on this side than this side, so definitely those small dots and builds. So there you go. That's why we test these different ways, you know. I'll just take this MY15 and I'll use this powder just to set the rest of my face as well. I am going to set this side of my face. I'm just going to avoid the eye area, but I'm going to do the T-zone here. I'm just going to avoid this bit right here because I'm too oily to not, even with this Urban Decay Waterborne one. So that's the concealer set, not set. I'm just going to do the speed through of the rest of my makeup now. If you want to watch it, happy days. If you don't, you don't. All good. There'll be timestamps. And then I'll come back, show you guys what it's all looking like completely done. And then I'll tell you the time. And, you know, then you'll see me at the end of the day with the check-in after the wear test. And then future teens. So let's do it. Alright friends, this is the finished look. All of these products will be linked down below if you're interested. I tried to use as many Westman products as I own. So this is what we are looking like. This under eye is set, this under eye is not. Doing pretty well, to be honest. Even this one, which normally I'd be hating by now with other concealers. Alright, so it is now 8:11 on the rocket clock. I don't know if you can see that in the morning. I'm going to wear this for as long as possible. Like I'll do minimum 8 hours. Let's hope I don't forget to check in at the end of the day. Sometimes that does happen. I'm also going to just insert now. I'll go downstairs on my balcony and take a video on my iPhone in natural light so you can see it in natural lighting as well. Keep in mind the iPhone is very, very unforgiving. I feel like it creates texture and stuff that's not there. So, you know, if it looks good in an iPhone thingy, happy days. But yeah, this is what we're looking like. So I'm pretty stoked. I'm not gonna lie so far, but we will see how it wears and how it tests over the next few days. I'll see you at the end of the day when I'm really tired and delusional. All right, my friends, it is now the end of the day. I've just finished work. It is 5:48 on the rocket clock. I don't know if you can see that, and I am ready to have a shower and take my makeup off. So this is how we're looking. So this one is the set under eye and this one is the unset. And I gotta be honest, both of them are actually looking really good. Like really, really quite good, to be fair. But I actually even think for the first time ever with the concealer, I like the unset eye more than I like the powder. What do you think though? I can't quite tell for sure. I've been looking in the mirror for ages, but I think I like this side more. Let me know what you guys think though, be honest, like which side. So this is how we're looking after a wear test, and I am pretty impressed, especially with this side. This side's looking, even with just more so my texture on this side and everything, like this side, honestly, I feel like looks pretty well the same to what it looked like this morning, which is really, really quite impressive for me, truly. So I'm happy with the wear test and the results. I'm happy with this concealer so far. So let me go away and test this for a couple of days and then I'll come back and give you my thoughts after testing it with a few different products. All right, let's do it. Future teens. So it's been a few days. I've been testing these concealers now for a couple of days. You'll actually see this look either up before this one or coming. I think this review will be up before this look, so stay tuned. I'm testing like this new Tom Ford quad, Gucci highlighter, all that kind of stuff. But in terms of the concealer, what do I think? Is this like a win in my book? Yep, sure is. I'm actually flabbergasted. What a word, flabbergasted at how good this concealer is, truly. Like I said, not sponsored, paid for this with my own money. Flawless, truly flawless. I think you even saw in the wear test, and I think I said like, even the fact that for me, the under eye that I didn't set looked so good at the end of the day still. Oh, that impressed me immensely. It's worn so well whether I set or not set my eyes. Either way, it looks absolutely beautiful. One of the things I love the most about this concealer is it is so thin on the under eyes and so smoothing on the under eyes and hydrating without being an obvious hydration. Because sometimes with concealers, if they have too much hydration in them, they can feel too heavy, they can move around, it can just be too much. This is such a like, almost you wouldn't suspect it's hydrating, but your under eyes just stay plump and smooth like this all day when you wear it. Truly, 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 truly. It's honestly blown me away. Like this has pipped the Chanel Sublimage, I think, for me. Controversial, I know, but I think it has. The coverage I love because you need such a small, same as like the Chanel Sublimage, a really small amount goes a long way, and I think it goes down to it not being such a liquidy product where it like moves around. It really is like you place a dot here, you blend it out here, that's where it's gonna stay, and I think that's awesome. And because of that, its coverage levels is so thinly buildable that you can really, it's a solid medium, but you can build this up to be a full coverage, or at least a really like, you know, almost solid full coverage with those thin dots, which I think is awesome. them. It's also a really good spot concealer because it doesn't move around. It is one of those ones where you can like dab it on a spot and push it in and it's going to stay there and self-set there. So I think that's amazing. I have not one bad word to say about this concealer. Truly, it really, really has surprised me how much I like it. It really has. I'm really impressed with it. Really, really impressed with it. I love it. I think you can just tell my under eyes, I think, looks so nice, and it has ever since I've worn it and tested it. So yeah, and a happy days. It's not a cheap concealer, but yeah, I just think it looks gorgeous. It wears well. The wear time is phenomenal. I wore it for like 9 or 10 hours the other day on the wear test, and I wore it for about 8 hours yesterday. It looked absolutely flawless the whole time. Yeah, not one bad word personally. I'm gonna say it even. I think this is a run don't walk. I think if there's a shade for you and you can afford it, I think this is a run don't walk. I think this is really phenomenal. I really, really do. I'm interested to hear, like, if I'm certain there are going to be people that will pick this up and not like it. That's probably the odds of, you know, the population. It's a numbers game, right? But I'm interested to see what you guys think if you have tried this, because I am truly floored. It's really, really, really good. So, like I said, that's 100% my own opinion. Not sponsored. Pay for it with my own money. But I'm floored. I think it's something special, that concealer. So yeah. All right, you guys, that wraps up this review. Hopefully it was helpful in some way, shape or form. And yeah, let me know what you think. Are you going to pick it up? Have you tried it already? I'd be super keen to hear from you guys as well. And if you made it this far, you know you're an absolute legend. Thank you so, so much. Extra special shout out to my Lily absolute legends. Thank you, and thank you to all of my channel members for supporting my channel. It means the world to me, and I hope you have the most amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye!